Hey guys, what's up? So yeah, it seems there's been a lot of conflicting reports going on about WWE and the whole Crown Jewel situation. Now, according to a more recent report, WWE has stated that they still plan to go through with the event in Saudi Arabia at the at the University Stadium. Despite reports that several superstars, including John Cena and Daniel Bryan, do not want to go. As a matter of fact, Ty Dillinger even replied, if not retweeted, something that Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks said. Matt Jackson basically said in his response to the whole ordeal that money isn't everything, and Ty Dillinger, all he said in response was word. Now, whether or not that does Ty Dillinger any favors in the backstage area, I don't really know. But yeah, WWE still, according to several sources, plans to go through with this. But there have also been other sources that have said WWE's situation as far as Crown Jewel goes is now in the hands of the U.S. Senate. And, some of you were reporting that when they did a teleconference with WWE, that somebody asked Vince McMahon about the Saudi Arabia situation, and he didn't want to comment because it was a sensitive issue at that time, or at the time. So, yeah, you got all these conflicting reports, and you don't know what's true or anything. And and here's the thing, there are some names from certain websites that are reporting this that I haven't heard of, like a Robbie Fox and everything, people like that from Bond Burner or something like that, all reporting certain different situations. Now, one can assume that some of these reports might be exaggerated, or they might be made up because this is how those people feel about the situation. And look, if that's how you feel about it, don't report fake news about it. Just come out and say, look, this is how I think they feel, but this is how I feel. It's like this Robbie Fox, if anything he's saying is not true, he should just say, this is what I think should be reported. I think this is what should be reported, or in how I think the wrestlers or superstars of WWE should react, because it's how I feel. So again, we don't really know what's going on. You got some conflicting reports going on saying that WWE still plans to go through with it. The U.S. Senate is getting involved, stuff like that. So we don't know what's really going on. I mean, as of yesterday, according to conflicting reports, WWE was supposed to make up a decision of whether or not they were still going to go through with it. And apparently that decision, if you want to believe any reports, is they're still planning to do it. Now, does this put WWE in a bad light? For the time being, yes. For the time being, yes, it does put them in a bad light. Do you believe the reports about Daniel and John? No one really knows. Sometimes people that might be fans of certain wrestlers might just make up a story and say, oh, this is where I heard it from, just to kind of maybe do a domino effect to where perhaps the superstar that they're talking about in question will be like, yeah, maybe this isn't a good idea, and then come out themselves and say that. But we haven't heard anything on behalf of Daniel or John or anybody. The only thing we've heard about from WWE is they always treasured having an open communication with the superstars, and take that for whatever it's worth. They still maintain and treasure an open communication with the superstars, and at the same time they're monitoring the situation. Now, some have come out and defended the idea for WWE to do this because they point back to an event they had in Abu Dhabi, and where they made history by having the first women's match there ever. The only problem was both Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss had to wear different outfits. They had to wear full body suits, if you will, so they could compete. They couldn't compete the way they do now, or the way that fans are used to seeing them compete. So yeah, they made history, but they were only able to make history because of certain restrictions put on them for this match to take place. That's the only reason they were able to make the match happen, was because they had to go through certain restrictions to allow it to happen. And yeah, did the people in Abu Dhabi chant, "This is change"? According to John Bradshaw Layfield, JBL, yeah, they did. You know, and here's the thing, the sentiments are echoed not by just JBL, but by a lot of people, but by a lot of other people, because, you know, there is truth that you need to do something to kind of not just start this movement or continue the movement, but basically show that while you're kind of stuck in time, while you're kind of stuck in the past with the way you run things or the way you operate things within your country, the rest of the world is moving forward. So if taking something like WWE and going to Saudi Arabia with it and saying, look, this is change, this is moving forward, then yeah, you know, people might agree that that's a great business tactic. But then again, you have this whole situation with the murder of this Arabian reporter, Jamal Khashoggi. I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong. And what happened to him, you know, people are still kind of on edge. They're not sure if this is a good idea. So right now, we don't really know yay or nay on the situation. I mean, according to reports, the last thing they heard from WWE, according to sources, the last thing they heard from WWE is they plan to go through with it. They still plan to go to Saudi Arabia. They still plan to perform at the University Stadium. They still plan to go through with it despite tons of conflict, despite tons of hot water thrown at them, because of the fact that a lot of people, despite those that might support the idea, a lot of people do not like this. They don't like the idea that, you know, WWE still wants to go through with this despite every single criticism thrown at them because of it. You know, like I said, despite every kind of criticism thrown at them about it, they still plan to go through with it. And a lot of people feel it's not worth it. Heck, a lot of people kind of echo the sentiments of an Alex, aka Deluxe Man. You know, some echo the sentiments of a John Solomon, aka Solomonster. You know, they echo the sentiments of, you know, look, it's just nothing. It's not really worth it, and all it is a glorified house show. If it was anything more than that, then maybe, pulling out may not be a good idea, but this is nothing more than a glorified house show. That's about it. That's everybody's take on it. And everybody is saying, look, you got Survivor Series, 15 days later. Why don't you just hold off till then with some of this? And heck, maybe use the World Cup and put it on, let's say, an edition of SmackDown, or save the World Cup for TLC. Or even do a 2-night event for Monday Night Raw and Tuesday Night SmackDown, and do it like that, and then have the finals be maybe at Survivor Series. It makes sense. It makes sense in the eyes of a lot of folks to go any kind of direction but towards Saudi Arabia. But right now, like I said, the last recent report is WWE still plans to do it. Other reports have come out that they plan to consider relocating to an American city, but we don't know which one that would be. And again, the last thing we heard is they still plan to go through with it at Saudi Arabia, because I guess there's so much money at stake. I mean, some may say, well, if they go through with it, the avoiding any further crisis, any further kind of conflict or trouble. Because if they back out, the Crown Prince may not like that. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia may not like that, and may threaten the WWE, may threaten the U.S. because, in their eyes, the government of the United States forced WWE to pull out. So perhaps that's why WWE still plans to go through with it, to avoid any kind of conflict that would get thrust upon them, their superstars, and if not, the U.S. itself. But again, we don't know right now who's telling the truth and who's not telling the truth. We don't know yay or nay on the situation. All we know is sooner or later, next week. A week from tomorrow is when it happens. So the decision is still up in the air. Right now, it looks like it's set on them still doing it. But my thought process, as I've said before, is the way I think it's going to get handled. Sorry about that. But the way I think it's going to get handled is you're going to have the superstars get escorted by security to the ring and back to the locker room after the matches are done. So security, in my opinion, to make sure nothing does happen, is going to escort superstars to the ring, and then after the match is done, it's going to escort them to the back. And then, after the event is over, WWE, if they're smart, they'll just tell the superstars, don't worry about showering, don't worry about showering or cleaning up, just pack your bag, just get your bags and head to the bus, and we're going to get to the airport and get out of here as quickly as possible. I'm guessing that's probably going to be the plan if they still plan to do, if they're going to go through with this, is to, one, have security escort to the ring, and then after the match, the superstars, escort the superstars to the ring, and then after the match is done, back to the back. I'm pretty sure they have plans to have security do that, if not military security. And then, possibly, more than likely, they'll have the superstars just pack up the stuff, get on the bus, head to the airport, and get out of there as quickly as possible. You know, not change or anything, just grab your stuff, get on the bus, and let's go. That's what I'm assuming is probably going to be the plan they have in mind. Have extra security, especially escorting the wrestlers to the ring and back to the locker room after the match is done, and then having those same superstars and wrestlers just grab the stuff, hop onto a bus, and then after the event is done, you know, like I said, have the superstars hop onto a bus and then head to the airport as quickly as possible to get out of the country and back to the U.S. That's what I'm thinking probably is the plan they're going to go through, as far as trying to keep things in order, trying to keep the superstars safe and everything. So, yeah. So as of right now, according to one report, they still plan to go through with it. Is it a good idea? Not really. I mean, like everybody says, it's a glorified house show. Yes, you're going to have the Universal Championship decided. You're going to have a new champion crowned. But the question is, where do you go from there? If that's the only thing that's going to happen. So yeah. Right now, we don't know what to believe. We'll just have to wait and see what WWE does at the last second. If the U.S. Senate does get involved, we don't know. So, yeah. Believe it's hard. So right now, in the midnight hour, if you will, at the midnight hour, it's like you don't know who to believe as far as WWE's situation goes with the Crown Jewel event in Saudi Arabia. So, let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. Who do you believe more likely? Do you believe conflicting reports saying this or that? Or do you think you believe what WWE has said recently about still going through with it? Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. I'll talk to y'all later.